Hi, my name is Annie, and I am a life and health coach and founder of the Dream Lab. I am re-recording this Automate Your Health webinar because the first one that I did on Saturday morning was hacked by an evil Zoom hacker. So for everyone who was on that call and patiently dealt with all the problems, thank you so much for your patience, and I really apologize for that. It was crazy and something I've never expected before, or never experienced before. But I wanted to go back and re-record this without that disturbance and giving you all my very best energy and the best information that I have. So that's what I'm doing now. And I hope you enjoy this. I hope you learn a lot. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I love working with women to help them feel their best, look their best, be confident, have just the most amazing life. And I could talk about this stuff all day. So if you have any questions, just reach out to me and shoot me a message. Okay, I'm going to share my slides because I have a slideshow that I made that was taken over. Okay, so automate your health. And the reason I call this webinar Automate Your Health is not just for the sake of automating your health, but for the result that it's going to have, which is to transform your life. And that's what I'm really, really obsessed with. And we will talk about that more throughout this webinar. So once again, hi, I'm Annie. I am a former big firm lawyer, and now after 8 years of practicing law, I have switched careers to support women who are just like my previous self, and I am a health and life coach. I am a peak performance expert. In terms of credentials, I am a trainer, a yoga teacher. I am currently taking a nutrition certification, so in about 3 months I will be a certified macros nutritionist, and I am a rowing coach. I love tacos, margaritas, beaches, and great novels, and I eat those things, tacos and margaritas, and I work them into a healthy diet and a great lifestyle, which is what I want to teach you to do as well. These words down at the bottom are both my words for my life and also what I want my business to stand for and how I want to help women create that same life for themselves. So I believe in a life of joy, ease, impact, and abundance. And I think that all of those words are so intertwined. Without joy, there's no point. If you're just a robot going through all the motions, if you are making an impact, but you're not living a life of abundance or joy, it's a sad life. If you are living maybe a life of joy and impact, but no abundance, and you're scraping by just every month, that's not what it's about too. And all those things can come together easily. So joy, ease, impact, and abundance is how I live my life and what I want for you in your life. Okay, so here's what you're going to go through today, what you can expect from this webinar. So first, we're going to talk about the current state of your health and well-being. And I don't know, I haven't spoken to all of you, but I can guess based on the people that were attracted to this webinar and based on most of my current clients and my friends and colleagues that I'm hearing the same things from them over and over again. And then module 2, we'll talk about what you need to do, the things you need to do to nourish your body and to feel, just feel amazing, and also create that body transformation that most of us are looking for. And what's just 4 simple components, nothing earth-shattering, it's just simple stuff. Eat better, move more, stress less, and sleep. And you know, they're simple things, but in all of these, there are really, really conflicting messages out there There are people who are offering magic pills, magic solutions. There are, as far as stress and sleep are concerned, there are so many competing demands for our energy and for our time. So I'm going to talk about really getting clear on what you need to nourish your body and why. So I'm a big time questioner. If I don't know why I'm doing something, I probably won't do it until I get clear on the answer. But once I know why, then I will be a lifelong devotee. So that's what I want all of you to know too, is not just what I'm telling you that you should be doing, but why it's so important. Okay, and then number 3, we're going to talk about why automating your health. And then number 4, how to actually go about automating these healthy habits and transform your life and your health for good. And one thing I see as an outcome of this is never needing to feel like you need to go on a diet ever again in your whole life. Can you imagine that? Like not being frustrated, not feeling like, oh, I need to buckle down and have this willpower and starve myself. Like, no, you do not need to do that, I promise. And I will show you how to do it. All right. So let's talk about the current state of our health. This may be you, this may not be you. So if you're watching this at home, just take note if any of these words describe how you feel, right? Overwhelmed, stressed out, exhaustion, prioritizing everything else except your own health. Maybe it's your kids' health, maybe it's your husband's health, maybe it's your partner's health, maybe it's your work, maybe it's your community work, maybe it is anything else except for your own health. Okay, 2 words are overachiever and perfectionist. A lot of people, including my former self, use this word busy as a badge of honor, like, oh, how are you doing? Oh, we're so busy, we're so busy. Also that I'll sleep when I die mentality, that used to be me big time back when I was practicing law. Traveling all the time, doing all the things all the time and never sleeping. And that works when you're 18, 19, sort of. But once you become a grown-up and you really set into life, sleep is the magical pill for health and energy. And we're going to talk about that more later. Another thing, current state of our health, is losing and gaining the same 5, 10, 20 pounds and losing it through diet and willpower, and then falling off the wagon or getting stressed out, or life happens, or maybe you go on the vacation, maybe you're crash dieting for like 2 weeks before you go on vacation, and then you go on vacation and then you go back to normal. That's super frustrating. Nobody wants to do that yo-yo diet game. So we're going to talk about what you need to do to never do that again. Oh, this is so important to me. Your health needs to be your top priority, because it's never going to be anyone else's top priority. And I am so passionate about this because I'm all about radical responsibility and taking care of ourselves because of the last bullet point here that I'm going to get to. But I first want to say, number 1, burnout is real. It's a real thing. There have been books written on it. There's so many articles, and it's actually been declared a real health issue by the WHO. And it's all those characteristics that I just said: completely exhausted, lack of energy, lack of passion for anything. You just don't care. You're exhausted. You're about to snap. If one more person asks you to do one more thing, that's burnout. And it causes passionate, dedicated, smart, amazing women like you to leave the careers that they love because you just get to the point where you can't do it anymore. And I want to help my clients prevent getting to that place. But in order to do that, you need to prioritize your health as number 1, not your clients' needs, not your boss's needs, not your family's needs. Your health has to be number 1. And it is not selfish to take care of yourself. So many women have that mindset that they don't have time to work out, or they'll just eat the scraps of whatever their kids are eating for dinner, or after everyone else is taken care of, they'll take care of themselves if it fits in. And you need to change that mindset. I'm here to tell you, tough love, you got to change this or nothing else will change. You matter. You're important. You are worthy of being taken care of. You're worthy of getting the best food. You're worthy of time to exercise every day. You're worthy of going to bed and saying no to all those demands that people are putting on your life and on your schedule. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because we need you, each and every one of you, every single person who is watching this. We need you to show up and change the world. We do. We're headed to a crisis that we have never seen before, like a collision of economic crisis, a public health crisis, a racial crisis, and we need leaders like you to step up and lead the way. And that means that you need to be your best, your brightest, your healthiest, your strongest, your most confident, and you're going to need stamina and energy in order to go out and do the thing that is calling to you to make an impact on our world, whether it's crushing the glass ceiling or starting a nonprofit or raising your kids to be amazing humans. We need you to be your best self. And that means that you need to decide that you are important, you are worth it. Okay, that's the end of my speech on that, but I really, really mean it, so I hope you'll take it to heart. Okay, so the other thing that's in common with most of my clients is that you need a way to prioritize your health that's efficient, which means it does not add a lot of time to your schedule. It's effective, so it works, and it's practical to the life that you're already living. I don't want my clients to be changing their whole life because no one has time, like in a dream world, right, to spend the whole day, the whole afternoon at the gym and spend all Sunday meal prepping and have like a 2-hour morning routine that involves yoga and meditation and journaling and walking around the block 5 times. Like, no one has time for all that stuff. So I try to make what I help my clients with really fit into a busy life, a full life. And you know, sometimes it is truly saying no and cutting back, but also sometimes it's knowing that the best solution is going to be a really quick protein shake on the way out the door rather than driving through the Starbucks drive-thru. Or a really good solution might be a 10, 15, or 20-minute very intense strength training workout instead of an hour on the elliptical machine. That the strength training is going to be much more efficient and it's going to have better results. So stuff like that is what I mean when I say efficient, effective, and practical. Also, I think it's really, really important that you invest in knowing what your body needs. And there's so many conflicting messages out there. There's bad diets and bad workouts, and they don't work because they're offering like a way too simple, cookie cutter, quick fix solution that does not work for everybody. So what I want you to take away from this is there is work to learn about nutrition and what kind of movement your body needs, and why stress is so damaging to your body and why the sleep is so important. Is going to be an investment of time and money to actually learn that stuff. And you're already making that investment watching this webinar. I'm so proud of you for that. So grateful. But you really want to master it. You need to put down the initial investment of learning, practicing, having some accountability and guidance, and learning as much as you can, because truly everyone is unique. Everyone is an individual. We're as different on the inside as we are on the outside. And so that's why like the bad diets or restrictive diets don't work. And some workouts that make you like sweat a lot and hard to breathe, and they're like the most intense, insane workouts ever, they're actually not like helping in the long run. And so I'm going to tell you what actually is helping. And the thing is, it's not really super sexy, which is why it doesn't sell the way these bad diets and bad workouts do. The truth is there's no magic pill. You just have to put in learning what to do, what your body needs, the tried and true things that research and time shows, is what we need to do to nourish our body. You need to find a way to implement those into your schedule and make them a habit until they are like a rock solid habit that's as automatic as buckling your seatbelt or brushing your teeth before you go to bed. Okay, so let's move on to what do you actually need to do? You're like, Annie, just tell me what I need to do. Okay, here's what you need to do. You need to eat better. You need to move more and better, in parentheses, and I'll talk about that. You need to stress less. This I cannot emphasize enough. We are in a maximum overcapacity, stressed out society, and you need to sleep more. You need to sleep more and you need to sleep better. And I love this, this pyramid right here. It's actually a pyramid of fat loss, but the fun thing is fat loss is just a natural byproduct when you start really nourishing your body and implementing healthy habits. So if your goal is health loss, this applies, but also if your goal is just to have more energy, the same thing applies. If your goal is to really have like healthy aging, this applies. If your goal is to have more mental clarity, the same pyramid applies. And I'm going to be talking about almost all of these things today. So the number one thing is calories. Number two is macronutrients. I'll be talking about all this. So if you don't know what any of them are right now, don't worry about it. Next is micronutrients. NEAT activity is non-exercise activity, thermogenesis, which means moving your body, which is any kind of way to move your body that's not a workout. So walking, gardening, dancing, doing laundry, walking up and down the stairs, parking far away in the parking lot, all that goes into NEAT activity. And you see it's more important than actual exercise, which I would call the workout part of this pyramid. And then the last one that you can barely see is the thermogenic effect of food, TEF. And I'll talk about that as well. That's a really cool thing. Okay, so let's get into it. Number one, eat better. Now this is, pretty confusing. It's like a simple directive, right? Eat better, but it's really confusing. There's so much conflicting information about there. Should you eat high fat, low carb? Should you eat no carbs? Should you eat vegan? Should you eat paleo? I'm gonna tell you, anything with a label, it's probably not the answer. Right? So these restrictive fad diets, they never work in the long term. One reason they don't work is because restriction, it never works. It always backfires. Our minds are designed to focus on, to like zone in on the thing that we're thinking about. So what you focus on expands. And let me give you an example of this. I was paleo for a while. Actually, I was vegan for 2 years, and then I was paleo. This was in my journey of trying all the diets that have ever existed, and then I finally decided to just learn about nutrition. But for a while, I was paleo, which, if you're familiar with paleo, it means you're not supposed to eat any like processed grains or processed sugar. So what did I want? I wanted a bagel. It was literally all I could think about was how I couldn't have a bagel. So that was all I wanted. It was all I wanted. And it didn't last in the long run because I just focused on what I couldn't have. So I really advocate a balanced diet where the majority of your food is whole, fresh foods, but 20% of the food is, just food that makes your soul happy. Because if your soul is not happy, this is not a sustainable lifestyle. So let's talk about kind of the basics of food here. Calories was in the bottom of that pyramid. So calories are the measure of how much energy a food gives you. Calories are in every food. They're also in alcohol. And the truth, like all these diets that promise you'll like magically lose weight, they only work if you're in a calorie deficit, period. Like point blank, period. Keto is not magic. Paleo is not magic. They only work if you're in a calorie deficit. They work just as well as any other diet if you, and by the way, when I put diet in like air quotes, I'm talking about like a specific restrictive plan, but when I just say like diet, I mean like the scientific term, meaning like the food that you eat, that you consume. So any like diet that claims it's going to be like magical weight loss, it's because there's some trick of restriction where you are eating in a calorie deficit. So you're eating fewer calories than you're burning. If you are eating more calories than you're burning, you're in a calorie surplus and you will gain weight. That is just like point blank period. So the first thing, if you want to lose weight, is that you need to be in a calorie deficit. And that's actually a more complicated equation than it sounds, because on the one side, we're tracking the calories that you're putting in, and that's just math. That's actually pretty basic. The calories out is where it's really sort of an art and a science combined, and that is affected by your movement, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, your exercise, your stress management, your sleep, your hormones, your water intake. It's also going to be affected by previous diets and other restrictions that you've done to your body. So it takes some work to really figure out this calories in, calories out thing. But it's important, because if you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. If you're equal calories in as calories burning, you'll just maintain. If you're in a surplus, you'll gain weight. So moving on up that pyramid, okay, the next thing I want to talk about is macronutrients, and then kind of all together, micronutrients, fiber, water, thermogenic effective food, and alcohol. So let's go to macronutrients first. I'm always surprised that people don't know what macronutrients are. I learned about them probably 10, no, maybe 5 years ago, and it changed my life. So I am so excited to share this with other people. So macronutrients are the building blocks in all food. So all food is calories, and then all food is made up of 3 macronutrients: protein, carbs, and fat. There's a 4th macronutrient, alcohol, which we'll talk about later, but it's not really in the food. Okay, so macros are, people talk about, oh, I'm following my macros. The diets associated with tracking your macros might be IIFYM, if it fits your macros, or flexible dieting. The reason I advocate for this so strongly is because I think it's the best way to figure out, number one, what your body needs according to you and your goals, and number 2, to give your body what it wants within those parameters. I know there's a big push right now for intuitive eating, and I think coming as from the Midwest, always having a big appetite, always having overeaten, is really hard to intuitively eat, because like I've always eaten giant portions my entire life, and most people around me have as well. And from that, or also possibly on the flip side, from like a history of dieting, your fullness triggers, your hormones may be off in your body, and we need to work to heal those. Also, with the kind of food that's out there, processed food is called hyperpalatable, which means a lot of food, they strip the nutrients out of it to make it more shelf stable, and then they add in extra fat and salt to make it taste even better and make you want to eat more and more and more of it. So you may be full, but you're not getting those signals from your body, and the food is telling you more and more and more. So it's really hard. So I think the best thing is to actually calculate what you need in terms of protein, carbs, and fat, and then spend some time actually measuring that out, weighing it out, seeing what a portion feels like, feeling what it feels like to eat that healthy portion that your body actually needs. And then eventually you don't have to track for your entire life, but once you really get clear on it, then you can go off of it. So the other thing I love about macronutrients is that there's no restrictions. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is cheating. And that really helps with your mindset, because instead of your mindset of being like, oh, I'm good because I followed the plan, or I'm bad because I cheated, and going down a negative spiral of guilt and shame, the mindset is flipped with this. And the mindset instead is, how can I make it fit? It's like playing Tetris. Like, I know my body needs this many grams of protein, this many grams of carbs, this many grams of fats, and maybe even much fiber and this much water. How can I do it? How can I do it in the way that makes me happy? How can I do it in the way that tastes the best? And so instead of like ending up in like a guilt shame spiral, it's like an empowering game of like, okay, how can I fit in what I want to fit in? So that mindset shift is really huge. Okay, so here's just a little bit of background about each of those 3 macronutrients. So protein is the building block for all living organisms. It's super important. They're all super important. So that's the other thing, that if any diet is saying like don't eat one of these 3 macronutrients, you should run the other way. All 3 of them are really important for what our body needs. Protein builds, repairs, and maintains muscle, and it's used for every metabolic process in the body, including rewiring our brain while we sleep to remember and have mental clarity the next day. It's also very filling, which is awesome because you want to be full when you're eating, and it's thermogenic. So when I talked about the thermogenic effect of food at the very top of the pyramid, it actually takes your body a lot of energy to metabolize the protein. So by eating the protein, you're boosting your metabolism to break down the protein so that your body can use it. That's also true, by the way, with fiber and with water. And so any whole foods, vegetables, and or protein, is just eating them is going to boost your metabolism. Okay, so sources: meat, fish, eggs, egg whites, protein powder, yogurt, or tofu. Tofu and all vegetarian sources of protein all come with either carbs or fat. Also, there's no pure source of vegetarian or vegan protein. And that's fine. I totally support living a vegan lifestyle. I think it's great for the planet and for long-term health. And if you do, though, you just have to know that a lot of your protein sources are also going to come with carbs and with fat. So not a problem at all. Okay, next macronutrient is carbs. Carbs are my favorite thing to talk about because it turns out they are actually not the devil. Carbs, not the devil. PSA. Carbs are good for us. They are actually also delicious, which I think everyone knows, but they're good for us. Our body needs them not just as the main source of fuel, but also to trigger hormones within our body and keep our hormones healthy that are actually going to boost our metabolism and burn fat. So if you are restricting, not eating any carbs, you're messing up your metabolism pretty quickly, and it's a hot mess train express from there. So please, please, please don't cut out all carbs. Carbs are found in the things that people commonly think of as carbs, which, bread, pasta, rice, starchy vegetables like potatoes or squash. Also, all veggies are a great source of complex carbohydrates, fruit, and also candy. Like, there's a whole range of carbohydrates. So it's your body's primary source of fuel, the preferred source of fuel. So if you are working out, if you are an athlete, if you are walking and moving around, you really need those carbs. Okay, last macronutrient is fat. Fat is also not the devil. If it was the 80s, I would make that case more strongly, but I think right now we're more in a carbs are the devil period. But fat is really important, and so like now we know eating fat does not make you fat. A calorie surplus makes you fat. Calorie surplus over a long amount of time. 1 day or 2 days of overeating is not going to make anyone fat. So here's what fat does. It's a secondary source of fuel, and the best way to explain that is like if your metabolism is a strong burning fire that we want it to be, the carbs are like the kindling that you throw in to quick start that fire, but then they like quickly burn out. Whereas fat is like the smoldering log that after the kindling burns out, then it takes over and it burns deep and strong and burns longer. So that's sort of what the fat is. It's like the backup source of energy. It's also really, really key for hormone regulation and vitamin absorption and brain development and nerve function. So super important. Sources are fatty meats and dairy, olive oil, coconut oil, nut butters, avocado. Avocado is a great source of fat because it also has a lot of fiber in it. Cheese, ice cream, mayo. If you're going to get more into it, I would encourage you to avoid saturated fat and look for more unsaturated fat, such as found in vegetables like olive oil, coconut oil, avocado. But for today, we're just kind of sticking with the basics, and all of these are good sources of fat. Okay, alcohol is the secret fourth macro. So when people say it's empty calories, it's number one, doesn't have any nutrition, but also number two, it doesn't have any protein, carbs, or fat. So no micronutrients, no macronutrients. The pro of alcohol, you'll hear people argue that it's good for you because it may reduce the risk of, this is supposed to say risk, of coronary heart disease, especially red wine, looking at the Mediterranean diet. And that's true, that's great. I would just say that there's also other food that will also provide the same antioxidant benefits. But that's true. And again, like, I really encourage you to not think of any particular food as good or bad. It's just what fits with your macros. What do you need? What is calling to you right now? But just knowing the full facts behind it. So pros may reduce your risk of heart disease. Cons is that this is not really known, but alcohol are known very widely, but it slows down your metabolism. And the reason is because your body interprets the alcohol as a toxin. So it switches gears and says, let's get this toxin out of my body. So it prioritizes metabolizing the alcohol and puts the food that you're eating like on the back shelf to get rid of that alcohol as soon as possible. Also, I would say in my personal experience, it leads to making bad food choices like late night food overruns or extra dessert or like more glasses of wine. But that would be like an indirect effect of the alcohol. So alcohol, pure alcohol by itself has 7 calories per gram. But if you're tracking your macros, you would count them as either a carb or a fat. Okay, so moving on to micronutrients. And also, I would just note that when I was doing this live, I was so rudely interrupted by my Zoom hacker. People were dropping questions in the chat box for me to answer at the end. If you have any questions, just pause the presentation, write them down, and send me a message. I would love to answer them. I would guess that if you have a question, other people have the same question as well. Okay, so all of these, kind of talking about them together: micronutrients, fiber, and water. So micronutrients are the vitamins, minerals that you're going to get in food, and mostly they're going to be coming from vegetables, from especially leafy greens. They're going to be coming from fruit. They help with healing, with recovery, with anti-inflammation, fighting inflammation in your body, and also antioxidants that are fighting free radicals and helping you stay healthy, fight off cancers, and have a healthy aging process. Fiber is one of my new favorite things to focus on because it is so helpful in the digestion process and it boosts your metabolism. So fiber is actually like indigestible stuff found in, think about like roughage, right? Like leafy greens, cabbage, broccoli, some seeds and nuts, avocado, as I mentioned previously. So what it does is it helps push everything through your digestive system, so helps with digestion. Also binds to fat and gets those fat cells out of the body and helps release toxins because our body stores toxins in the fat. So when you're releasing the fat, it's binding to the fiber and just riding on out of your body. So really important in lots of ways. And it also is one of those things that has the huge thermogenic effect, so it actually increases your metabolism along with the protein and the water. So water, last food thing about eating better I want to talk about. I have mine right here, although I have to admit I drink a lot of coffee and I really have to work hard to drink enough water. When I did this presentation originally, I just had coffee. So what does water do? Well, it hydrates us, duh. But what does that really mean? Our body is made of like 70% water. So it's in all of our cells. It helps mental clarity, helps process protein. It also increases your metabolism. And the reason it does is because your body has to increase the water up to your internal body temperature, 98.6 degrees. So your body has to work to do that. So your body's actually like internally working up a sweat to heat the water up to your body temperature. So the colder that you drink the water, the more it's going to raise your metabolism. Fun fact. Okay, so how much do I need? And this is the part where, sorry, not sorry, I cannot tell you all right here, because that is exactly the kind of cookie cutter approach that I was saying happens in a lot of diets where they say drink these 2 shakes and then eat this one thing, or just eliminate this one kind of food. This doesn't work. This is the part where you have to invest in figuring out what you need specific to your body and your life. So calories and macros are based on age, gender, height, weight, body type, your goals, your activity level, and also your history of dieting. And before you get super frustrated, let me just tell you a little spoiler alert. At the end of this, I'm going to tell you about my group coaching program that I'm launching right now, starting in early July. I'm super excited about it. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to teach everyone in the group how to calculate and adjust your own macros, because adjusting them is really important too as you go through different cycles and as your body changes. And I'll also give you a calculator you can use just at the very in case you are like, nah, it's way too much work, I just want to plug this in. There's a calculator available online. You can Google it. The one I used for years before I learned how to actually calculate my own macros. I was scared of calculating my own macros, but I just think knowledge is power. And once you learn the formula, it's pretty simple. You just plug in numbers to the formula. So I'm excited to teach you all how to calculate your own and have that power. But if you just really cannot be bothered, you just want to know right now, or maybe you just want to double check your work, it's just Google flexible dieting calculator, and then you can just plug in some of this information. And so generally what you're going to be needing is protein. And I'll tell everyone who comes to me for help with training or coaching or weight loss, you need to eat more protein. Everyone in this country, especially women, needs to eat more protein. And what you should be eating is close to grams of protein equal to your body weight. So if you're very, very new to this, I would start you off in the low range of like 0.6 grams times your body weight. For me, I eat about 0.9 grams to body weight. So that means I am eating like 180 grams of protein a day. 4 meals that all have like 45 grams of protein. Fat, you need to eat a good amount of fat. That's going to be 30 to 40% of your total calories. And then carbohydrates is the rest. And usually for most people, this is going to be about like this breakdown I have here: 30% carbs, 40% protein, 30% fat. Now, if you're doing keto, it's going to be, this protein number is always actually going to be the same. But if you're doing keto, it's going to be higher on the fat and way lower on the carbs, which I've talked about a few things like the danger of cutting out carbs. So if you're coming back from keto and you're transitioning out of it and you're ready to have bagels and muffins in your life, we're going to step you up slowly so you're not totally shocking your body. And then also, depending on your actual body type, some people just prefer more carbs and their body likes it, they're happier, they crave that. And you can adjust those numbers and maybe have like 35 to 40% fat, or vice versa with the carbs, but this protein number is always going to be the first foundation of this calculation. So this is mine, just for a comparison. Fiber, you need about 25 grams. That is like the goal. If you're getting 20 grams of protein, that is like upper echelon for women. 30 grams is the goal for men. Most people are not getting nearly that much. So just start paying attention to the back of the labels of your food and see how much protein you're getting in the day. And I challenge you to try to get 20 grams of fiber. Last, water. You should be drinking half your body weight in ounces every day. So yeah, that's a lot. You're gonna go to the bathroom, so I would recommend drinking it on the earlier side of the day rather than all at night. Okay, let's move on. We are moving right along here. Moving more and better. I'm actually gonna go through these pretty quickly. I don't want to take up too much of your day, because there's two key things about moving more and moving better. Moving more is going to be like the NEAT activity, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Walking is magic. So humans are designed to walk 3 to 5 miles a day. If you picture our like ancient caveman ancestors walking through the woods all day to like forage for mushrooms and berries, and then they might like hunt a deer and like run really fast to get it and carry it home, right? So it's majority just walking, strolling, leisure walking. It's not mall walking or power walking. Okay, that would be like moving into like the elliptical machine zone. I'm talking about just literally stopping and smelling the roses. This has so many benefits, and they're just really starting to emerge, like all the benefits of walking, but it decreases your stress, it increases your metabolism, it boosts your immune system. Those 3 things alone, like why not? Plus it's free, right? You can just walk out your house, throw on a pair of shoes, or even a pair of flip-flops or a pair of Crocs. I walk in Crocs all the time. And it helps you sleep better, which sleep is going to be the next thing I'm talking about. So all these 4 things are so interrelated, which is why I can never talk about just nutrition or just movement. They all go together, and they're all going to affect your health, your energy, your mood, your body composition. Okay, so walking is magic. Try to walk more. 10,000 steps is a lot, right? That takes up a lot of time. So if you're not doing anything close to that right now, just start working in a few little walks, like maybe 10 minutes after lunch and 10 minutes later in the day, and just try to start building that into your daily routine. Okay, as far as exercise, I want to talk about strength training. So this is one of my other favorite subjects besides sleep and nutrition, and that's because A, I love it, and B, most women are scared of strength training. I actually started a ladies lifting club at the gym that I used to work at, and it was the most popular thing. It is so good for you and so important, especially for women and especially as we age. And most women are scared or avoid it. Maybe I won't say scared, but avoid it because maybe they believe some myth like it's going to make you bulky or not look kind of ladylike. But I promise you, it's going to make you look the way you want to look, right? You're going to build muscle in the right places. You can't tone muscle that you don't have. So you have to build muscle. There's no, oh, I just want to get toned, so I'll pick up these 5-pound dumbbells. No, pick up heavy weights. You're going to build muscle. You're not going to get bulky. The other reason a lot of women, I think, avoid strength training is because the weight room can be really intimidating. And that's why my strength training program is called Sweat and Swagger, and I really love helping women build up that confidence to go in the weight room with all the guys and know what they're doing and pick up their stuff, lift some heavy weights, and just swagger on out of there. And that confidence that you get from strength training, it translates to other aspects of your life. There's no confidence I've ever seen anyone build up being on the elliptical machine or the exercise bike or whatever. Like, spin is fun, Zumba's fun, but strength training is king. It's unparalleled. So here's the other thing about it. It raises your metabolism up to 72 hours after your workout. Whereas if you're doing cardio, like typical elliptical machine, exercise bike, spin class, Zumba, those will increase your metabolism for the time you're doing the activity. And then as soon as you stop, it goes back to normal. Strength training causes little micro tears in your muscle, and that's why you get sore afterwards, and your body has to work hard to repair that muscle, and it builds it back up with stronger, younger, newer muscle, and that takes energy. So it's going to increase your metabolism for up to 72 hours. And then once you have more muscle, the muscle burns more energy while it's at rest than other types of body mass. So you're literally increasing your metabolism as your body's recovering from each strength training workout, and then just having the muscle just sitting around watching Netflix, you're going to be burning more calories. It's like a win-win-win situation. Also, really good for you in terms of health factors, decreases heart disease risk, blood pressure, increased fat burning. It strengthens your bones and increases bone density, just super key for healthy aging. I love training women of a certain age who have never strength trained before, because it really helps with that strong bones and also the balance, which is just, as we age, is super important. It also has other benefits like reducing anxiety, depression, tension, decreasing stress. It boosts our cognitive abilities. It boosts our self-esteem, tranquility, confidence, and swagger. And last but not least, it will give you that toned look and like the sexy curves you want in all the right places that cardio just will not give you. Okay, so how much is much? So the good news is you don't actually have to do that much strength training to get benefits. Most of my workouts in my Sweat and Swagger program are 30 to 40 minutes because they're designed for women who are busy and on the run. And you can get a really, really good, thorough workout with 30 to 40 minutes of intense exercise. So you can ditch the elliptical machine and an hour of cardio where you're just bored and like watching TV at the gym or something. You can just do a short, effective strength training workout that's going to be so much more better for your body and your health overall. The walking, on the other hand, it takes time because there's no magic pill for walking. So I really encourage you to just think about how you can build it into your schedule. And so that might be scheduling it. For me, if it's not on the schedule, it's not happening. Walk with a friend or make a phone date, for especially during quarantine, and now we're still all social distancing. I think we will be for a while. Schedule a phone date or call someone who might be lonely or isolated. Great time to listen to a podcast. Great time to just think or clear your head. Maybe connect with your partner or your friends. And then maybe just build it into your day by running errands, walking to coffee, walking to work, parking in the back of the parking lot. All of those little things, they all add up. Okay, number 3, stress less. This is like an impossible demand, right? No, I will tell you it is not impossible. We are in a super overstressed society, and we're not designed for the 24-hour news cycle, for all these demands of being accessible from work 24 hours. Just the demands of modern life. We're busier more than we ever have been, and our diet and exercise are not supporting our body in terms of decreasing stress. We're not sleeping enough, and then our mindset can also really affect that. And with what's going on right now in the world between COVID and racial tensions, the economy, all those things can be super stressful. And we need a way to cope with those. A lot of the time we, I don't have it here. A lot of times we numb out to cope with the stress. Like maybe we drink alcohol. We come home from work, we're like, oh, I had a long day. I deserve a drink. I need a drink. Maybe we stress eat. Maybe we watch TV, staying up late on TV, and instead of like focusing in on what's really going on in our world and really thinking about how to deal with that, how to cope with that, we like tune out and numb it. And that stress doesn't go away when we numb it out. It just stays there. So, and this stress, which we're not designed to be living a stressful life, comes with really serious physical effects. It causes all kinds of health complications, anxiety and depression. It affects our lack of focus. May change appetite. It shows to increase or decrease your appetite. It affects our hormones. And I always tell people the simplest way to explain this is that stress makes you fat, and also staying up late makes you fat. Both of them trigger your body into a fight or flight mode where it produces cortisol and adrenaline. The cortisol tells your body to hold on to any body fat because there's uncertainty coming. You don't know what's happening. We might be going into battle. We might not be eating for a while. Ah, just like that. That's how it talks to your body, like, ah, hold on to everything. It's not helpful for releasing body fat. It also increases the heart rate. It affects every major system of our body. And when adrenal fatigue, people are talking about that a lot now. And that the adrenal glands are the ones that produce the cortisol and adrenaline. And they are fatigued from constantly producing these hormones because they're constantly getting triggered that there is some kind of an emergency that they need to be on alert for. Also, stress suppresses your immune system. And right now, we need everyone's immune system to be up, up, up as high as possible. Okay, so what to do about stress? Number one, I said before that these things going on in the world can be stressful. I purposely didn't say they are stressful, and that was for a reason. And the reason is because stress is in the eye of the beholder. It truly is. Stress is caused by circumstances. Circumstances are facts. They are neutral. They're always neutral. They're never good or bad. But then what our mind does is it creates a story around the set of circumstances, around the facts, that is good or bad. It's judgment, it's discernment, it's telling us a story. And so what we need to do is pause, recognize, number one, recognize that story that we're telling ourselves and separate out the facts from the story, the circumstances from the story. We need to evaluate, is that story true? Is it caused by fear? Is it caused by our ego? Is it a lie from the devil that we just need to say, no, that is not always true? And most of the time, I'm going to tell you they probably are. And then we have the opportunity to retell, to reconstruct a new story. So I'll give you an example. When I originally did this presentation, I had a crazy evil hacker who took over the presentation. And so that's the fact, right? I'm already adding a little story by calling him crazy and evil. So I had a hacker take over the presentation. Story could be, this presentation was a disaster, as like a flaming dumpster fire of a day. The day is ruined. All my work is ruined. My career is over, right? You can go down that negative spiral. I could stop and say, okay, is that actually the truth? No, my life is not over. All my work is not for naught. The presentation was not ruined. And in fact, everyone who was on it was so patient, and we really got through it pretty professionally and with everyone intact. So it was fine, and it gave me the opportunity to re-record it and do an even better job and send it out to everyone. And so that's just sort of an example of how you take a stressful such situation, separate out the facts, and tell yourself a new story. It's always a story. There's so much in our brain. The sentences that we tell ourselves are always stories, and we're in control of those. Okay, so number two thing is there are certain relaxation techniques that you can do. They're available to anybody. Yoga is really good for this. There's more and more research and science coming out. We're just getting the tip of how good yoga and meditation are for us. And also taking a deep breath. 1 breath, 5 breaths, 10 breaths, it doesn't matter. Literally 1 deep breath will change your energy. So let's actually try that now. Okay, close your eyes. Bear with me for just a moment. Close your eyes. Put a little smile on the corners of your mouth. Just point the ends of your mouth upward. Pause here. Take a big inhale. Hold it at the top. And then open mouth exhale. Did you feel your energy shift? I did. Just 1 breath. Imagine if you did 5 or 10 or a minute of that kind of breathing. It's powerful. It's easy. You can do it at your office or your desk without really anyone even know you're doing it. And it's available to anyone. It's also why I make yoga and meditation part of all of my programs, including my 8-week small group training program that I'm going to tell you about at the end of this. It's so important to make it a part of our daily lives, or our daily lives. And the last one is joy. Joy is the antidote to stress. And if you can just shift your mindset to be open to joy, to put on a song you love, to have a little dance party, maybe turn off the stressful news cycle and put on like an old episode of Friends or Seinfeld or some comedy, it will change your energy instantaneously and get rid of some of that stress. The last thing I want to talk about is this MOVE principle. And that is an acronym. It stands for mindfulness, which means just being present. So many times we get stressed out because we're fixated on either the present, or not the present, either the past or the future, neither of which we can control. I promise you, if you focus on the present moment and what you can control, your stress will decrease dramatically. If you are always thinking about the future and the uncertainty, be super stressful. So just bring it back to right now. What can I control? Objectivity is another one. That goes to asking yourself, whatever you're stressing about, is it true? Is it true? So many of the things we worry about are lies that we are creating and telling ourselves that are not facts. It's just a story, the way we're spinning it in our head. So pausing and asking yourself, is it true? V stands for visualization. And I think sometimes, visualization gets a bad rap because you just picture yourself winning the race or losing the weight or getting the job or whatever. And that's not actually super helpful, because what you need to do to make visualization really powerful is think through the barriers and the obstacles that are going to come up. Like, what is the worst case scenario? What is the worst thing that would happen? If it happens, will I die? What will I do? Who can help me? And when you work through those barriers and obstacles in your head and see yourself coming through to the other side, when they inevitably pop up in real life, you've got it. You've already gone through that battle in your head. You already know what to do. You're already there. So that's how visualization is really powerful. And the last one, E stands for exercise. So back to walking, back to all those non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So the walking, the gardening, swimming, anything like fun, just moving your body, dancing, and the strength training. Super important for dealing with stress. It causes your body to release hormones that decrease stress, that make you feel better, happier, literally kill pain in your body. And the irony is that when people are stressed out or when they're busy, exercise is the first thing to go. So I just really encourage you to just get in a habit, get in a routine, put it on your calendar. Keep that exercise a priority, because it's going to help you sleep better. It's going to help you manage stress. It's going to help with your health goals. It's going to help with everything. Okay, moving on. Sleep more and better. This is number 4. And super, super important. None of us get enough sleep. I'm just gonna like go out on a ledge and say that you do not get enough sleep, and you probably don't get very good quality sleep either. I don't have a slide about this because I want to tell an analogy that I think sums it up really well. Your body is like a race car, a high performance vehicle that we all know it is, driving out on the race course, and it needs to stop for like routine maintenance and the pit stops. That's what pit stops are for, right? When it's in the pit stop, it needs to go in the little garage, and then the pit crew uses their tools to change the tires, check the oil, fill it up with gas, do all that stuff, all that routine maintenance. Okay, so your body's the car. The nutrition that you're eating, the good nutrition, the protein, the carbohydrates, the fat, the micronutrients, the water, all of that is the pit crew and their tools. But sleep is literally the garage where the pit crew does its work to repair your body, to lose weight, to rewire your brain, to remember everything that you learned that day. If your body is not in sleep, it cannot heal itself and take care of yourself. If the race car is not in the garage, the pit crew can't do its job to maintain it. So you need to sleep. And that's like about all I have to say about that, but I want to say a couple ways to make it more regular. So number one, you should have a bedtime. Most adults don't have a bedtime, but think about like if you had like a beloved child, like a 4-year-old little boy in your life, you wouldn't let him just stay up all night watching Netflix and probably having some more late night snacks, right? Bed. No, I don't actually have any kids yet. I'm about to have a stepson in October, so I should get this order down, but it is bath, book, bedtime, right? That is literally the routine I want you to have for yourself. So bath would be amazing every night, right? But maybe just take a hot shower, like trigger your body to know, okay, it is the end of the day. We're turning things down. We're about to turn down the dial and get ready. Turn down the dial and get ready for sleep. The other thing that's really important to do is dim the lights, turn off your computer, turn off your phone. That blue light really, really triggers your brain to stay active and awake, and it causes you to have a good sleep, a lower quality of sleep. Same thing with alcohol. It's commonly thought that alcohol helps you sleep better, but what it actually does is it makes you drowsy and gives you very poor quality of sleep. So you'll fall asleep and get drowsy, but then you won't be able to stay asleep. Bed, get in bed, or read a book, So bath, book, right? Maybe go in your room, and if your room has a TV in it or technology, get that out of your room. There's no place in your bedroom. It should be for sleep or other bedroom activities, right? Hey, switch out your phone for a book or a journal, and maybe do a brain dump or journal on what you're grateful for, or read a good book. That is like the best way to kind of turn your brain down, get ready for sleep. And then the last thing is bed. Have that bedtime, turn the lights out, make sure you have a good, dark, cool place to sleep. If you need like white noise or a fan, that's really helpful to block out other sounds that might like startle you and wake you up. And just really prioritize that sleep, because you deserve it, you're worth it, and you will be so much better for it. Okay, let's move on. Okay, why automate your health? So those are all the things. I think there's a recap coming up, but just to recap, that was a lot about how to eat better, how to move more, how to stress less, and how to sleep more and better. All those 4 things are ultra key to nourish your body, your mind, your spirit, and transform your whole health, transform your body. How to do it is this automated decision making. I'm so passionate about this. I read a few years ago, that Steve Jobs wore the same outfit to work every day. I think it was a black turtleneck. He didn't need to wear a uniform, right? He's the CEO, he ran the company, but he did that because it eliminated one decision that he had to make in his life. And I just love that example. I actually started doing it. I developed a 5-outfit work wardrobe. I wore the same dress on Monday. I had a Monday dress, a Tuesday dress, a Wednesday dress. And people would always say to me, oh, I love that dress. And I'll say, thanks, I wear it every Tuesday. It was amazing because I didn't have to sit in my closet for 20 minutes and think about picking out an outfit in the morning. I just threw on my Monday dress or my Tuesday dress and I was like on to other things. Our brain only has so much willpower, so much decision-making ability. And for all of you who are watching this, you are key decision makers. You're critical thinkers, you're thought leaders, you have business, your career that you're super passionate about. You make decisions all day long. So your health should not be one of them, because when you do, it might end up being on the back burner. It might be in the last thing. So what you have to do is make these habits, eating well, moving more, sleeping, stressing less, make them automatic. So how to do that? Okay, so just as a recap, I think I kind of just went over this, but you need to make your health the #1 priority. No one else is going to do that for you. You do that by eating better, figuring out what you need for your body, figuring out what your body wants and what fits in according to what you need. Move more and better, stress less, and sleep more. And then automate these healthy habits. Plan it, schedule it, implement it, get some accountability. Accountability is super key. If you, most of us need help with this, and so there's no shame in that. Get a coach, get an accountability buddy, make a checklist, whatever you need to do to keep yourself accountable. And the result is going to be that you are going to transform your health, your body. You're going to increase your energy and mental clarity, and you will never need to feel like you need to go on a diet again. And that's super powerful. So here's how most people deal with their health, and I would really encourage you to run the other way. Here is not how to automate your health. Just hoping it's going to happen or relying on willpower or motivation. Willpower and motivation are the first things to go. So systems are always, always better. Do it when you feel like it, or grab what's available. A lot of times I think people, work out, they don't put it on their schedule, they don't plan it because they don't think that they're worthy. They don't think that they deserve to take care of themselves. They don't think that they can take 45 minutes or an hour to exercise without feeling guilty that they should be doing something for their kids or their partner or working. You deserve it. And not only do you deserve it, but everyone is going to benefit when you take care of yourself and show up with your best energy, feeling good, feeling confident, whatever you need. Everyone around you is going to be better off when you take the time to do what you need to take care of yourself first. Another thing not to do is to do what everyone else is doing, or to make other people make decisions or run your life. And, an example of that may be like, maybe you plan to work out after work and all your colleagues decide to go for happy hour and get margaritas. I would just really encourage you to think about, when that happens, go back to why your plan is what you need. What do you need? Do you need margaritas, or do you need to work out? Do you want to stick to the plan you made when you were in your best, highest self, or do you want to let someone else control not just your time, but like someone else control your time, your energy, your health? I would say no. Like, take control of it. Do what you need to do unapologetically to take care of yourself. And do not think that your health is a luxury that you don't deserve, because you deserve it. You totally deserve it. And as previously discussed, everyone's going to benefit. So it's win-win. Okay, let's talk about actually how to automate it. So #1, going through and doing what we just started on. This was very high level basics, but figure out what you need to do and why. And again, this may take an initial investment, might cost some time, it might cost some money. of really figuring out what your body needs and why, because you'll be so much more powerful in giving your body what it needs when you know what it needs and why. And then the mindset is so important. You need to believe you are worthy of being taken care of, period. And this is something I work with people on all the time. It's super common. So don't feel ashamed at all if you feel like you're not worthy, but reach out to me and let's talk about it. Okay, then we get to like the scheduling part. And this is where I flip over from like woo-woo to like the daughter of a retired military. My dad was in the Army. Plan it, schedule it. For me, if it's not on the calendar, it's not happening. And my mantra in life is fail to plan, plan to fail. Plan it out, stick to your plan, and believe it's worthy. And then as you do go through it, you need to practice. If you're making any sort of change in your life or trying a new diet, trying a new exercise plan, you're going to mess up. So just go through it day after day, stay consistent. Adherence and consistency are super key. So if you mess up one day, give yourself some grace. It is okay. You are learning a new thing. You're doing a great job. You get right back on it tomorrow or right back on it the next meal even. To just keep practicing and keep implementing. And then guidance and accountability are super, super key. As you're learning new things, you're going to have questions. You need to surround yourself with people who are going to support your goals and hold you accountable. Whether that is like-minded friends or family members or a coach or all of the above, the more accountability you have and the more like-minded people in your life, the better you're going to be for it. Okay, so that is how to automate your health. If you want more of this, please join me for the Nourish Project this summer. I'm super excited about it. This is going to be my 8-week signature small group health and life coaching program. We're going to go deep on all the things I talked about tonight: nutrition, exercise, movement, stress management, sleep, and mindset, all of those things while we practice implementing them into your lives on a daily basis. I'm going to be teaching in the group every week. I'm going to start by helping everyone know how to calculate their own macros. And then each week I'll be teaching on a different topic related to nutrition, movement, all those things. And then the people in the group really supporting each other. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be awesome. I've sort of talked about this a lot tonight, so I'm going to just go through this. But I really, truly mean this when I say I believe in living a life of joy, ease, impact, and abundance. Not just one, not just two, but all four of those things. And I want to teach you to do the same. And that's what we're going to do this summer. And with having the longer program, the 8 weeks, it's enough time to really make these habits, to take these new like healthy changes, to make them habits and make them automatic, so that by the end of the summer, you'll have a complete transformation of your body, your mind, your mindset, your energy, and you'll have made them shift into these automatic habits that are as automatic as buckling your seatbelt or brushing your teeth, so that you don't even really need to think about them, and you can clear up brain space for making the important decisions that you need to make in your life, whether it is crushing through the glass ceiling, starting a business, starting a nonprofit, volunteering, taking care of your family. That's the stuff that should be occupying your brain. Being the best at what you do, showing up energized and passionate, creatively solving problems, collaborating with other people. I want to support you in all of that, and the best way I can do that is by supporting you to not only transform your health, but to practice it so that it becomes completely automatic. Okay, so I just talked about all this, and here's what it really includes, the nuts and bolts of the program. So it's an 8-week small group health and life coaching program. We start July 6th, but there's going to be a pre-course workshop on July 1st about how to calculate and adjust your macros. Once we get into the project, every other week, I'm going to be doing a live coaching on Zoom on these different topics. Every other week when I'm not doing the Zoom training, I'll just do a live Q&A session in the closed Facebook group. So any questions that come up, I'll answer them all there for the group. We'll also have a Nourish project workbook, so you can work along with a lot of journal prompts, and both journal prompts like the workbook style and also information, so learning and working through things as you go to really work on that mindset and make sure that all of this really sticks and becomes automatic. I'm also going to include my macro-friendly grocery list, because I know when you're changing your diet, that can be kind of intimidating, and it's nice to have just a template that you can go to. We'll have a closed Facebook group for support and accountability, and I'm telling you, the magic is in the group. I love seeing all these women come together and support each other and encourage each other. And then last but not least, we'll also have my Sweat and Swagger training program available as part of it. So it'll be strength training workouts that you can do either at home or in the gym. But I'm really going to focus more on home workouts, because I think that's where we're headed right now. And then also yoga flows and a weekly meditation that I'll do live in the Facebook group to start, and then I'll record it so you can do that same meditation every day. So that's the Nourish project. It is going to be so good. I'm keeping the group really small, keeping it 12 people. A few of those spots are already taken. So if you're interested, claim your spot today, okay? It's $4.97 for the 8-week program. It's an amazing value for what you're going to get out of it. Also, there is an option if you want more accountability and you want to upgrade to the VIP spots and do additional weekly check-ins and have weekly check-ins with me above and beyond what we're doing in the group. That is an option. So I would say that's especially for you if you feel like you need additional accountability. You've tried a lot of things and failed, and don't feel bad about that. So many of us have tried so many things because it hasn't been the right thing. If you have a very specific goal you want to get to, or just if you feel like you know you're worth it and you want the best layer of support and accountability, just talk to me about that VIP coaching slots. I'm only opening a few of those because I don't want to take on too many people. So those are all first come, first serve. And you can get more information or sign up on my website. It's thedreamlabmpls.com. And it's right here on the screen, and I'll also put it in the notes of whatever I send this out with. So, my dears, that's all I have for you. I'm so happy that this presentation was not hacked by an evil hacker, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to do it again and give you my best stuff. So let me know if you have any questions, if you want to talk about nutrition, movement, mindset, any of the stuff. If you have questions about the Nourish project or any other coaching options to work with me, just let me know. I'm here for you. All right, have a beautiful day or night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.